All right, folks, we have ourselves a Sunday night live session. Are you guys ready to turn up with me? So much to celebrate. You guys already know it's been a massive weekend for uncovering truth and fighting for cryptocurrency DLT regulations in the United States, trying to improve humanity. And we have three-letter agencies that have been weaponized against the American people. The beautiful thing is that we had the truth on our side. Unfortunately for them, they are getting exposed for their corruption on every single level because they launched their attack against us. I am going to break it down tonight here. The title of the session is SEC Will Settle with Ripple. And I'm putting out the Twitter post right now so we can send out the message. It's about 8 p.m. right on the dot, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I appreciate everyone for coming in here on a Sunday session, September 17th. And we're going to get a party started. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Massive session coming in here tonight. So much to discuss. We are absolutely going viral. And the ball's in our court. See, what we've done is we've exposed this three-letter agency in the SEC, but we understand very well that this goes further than that. Department of Justice, FBI, you name it. I mean, when we talk about cutting back and who deserves to actually lose their jobs, we have a bunch of worthless folks at best, and then we have a bunch of corrupt criminals at worst that are in charge and running these agencies. And being silent is being complicit, not standing up and actually standing for the American people and touting that we have the most, the best capital markets in the world while you stifle innovation with lawsuits against legitimate companies like Ripple. And you include the secondary market sales in your argument to only get struck down in a historical ruling from Judge Torres. So I want to remind the XRP community that we've won. I want to remind everyone who's watching the SEC versus Ripple case, we have the facts and circumstances on our side, and the red folder continues to get thicker. I know folks get a little triggered when we pull out that red folder. That's what happens when you got the facts and the circumstances on your side. And the good guys will win. The good guys and gals that are running Ripple are the biggest hitters in the world. And we have a killer legal assassin team with Mary Jo White, Andrew Saraceni, former SEC officials representing Ripple along with Solomon. You already know the connections and ties run so deep. And the SEC themselves, they can't even make their case. It's an absolute joke. When you look at what is taking place, they cannot even stand there with a straight face and make the case that they're trying to make. Appealing, interlocutory appeal, interjecting into the middle of this case to say, hold up, we want to appeal you on this, Judge. What do you think Judge Torres thinks about that? Programmatic sales and sales by the individuals, we will see on that. And then Judge Torres did say that we have some investment contracts to institutions. Let's take that to trial. And this is the whole problem, folks. In a real U.S. court of law, where you get to bring witnesses to the stand, and we talk about applying pressure, we're not talking about just making a YouTube little video. We're not talking about making a little TikTok. We're talking about putting someone's butt in a chair on the stand, right? And what we can do now, as we've assembled so much evidence over the past 2 years, this is the whole problem with allowing this case to go on this long. The SEC would have been served well to never bring this case in the first part, but to settle this deal up and get it over with before they ignited a fire under the ass of the XRP community, and we weren't going to let up until we got that level playing field. That's all we ever wanted. And, we want the truth revealed. Every time we dig a little bit deeper, we find more corruption. The beautiful moment in time right now is that we have whistleblowers who want to cover their butts. And I've been talking about this. I've been talking about this a lot. The SEC is building many cases against many people, and they have a lot to come after folks who, even if they thought they were doing the right thing, they violated the laws. They have a lot of evidence there. They're going to be able to go after a lot of people Operation Choke Point's not a joke. In fact, I believe that they let it get so dang big, it was in their favor. And of course, Gary always throws it off to Congress. We need congressional regulations. To launch these enforcement actions without that is the problem. And that's what they did. And they're going to be trying to collect the biggest checks they can. Now, some of those sales by Ripple might have been big because what is Ripple doing? Big deals, big hitters, all-star team on the roster, from the board of directors, board of advisors, to the executives, C-suite, all the way to little developers that come join the conversation on Twitter and others that are just part of the team here. You see that Ripple is an organization that is very compartmentalized. But at the highest levels, we got Brad Garlinghouse letting you know that we're inviting 15 executives from JP Morgan into the building. And see, earlier today, I dropped the video on JP Morgan, Ripple, XRP, the connections that we do have and the speculation that we have to add on top of that. Are we guilty of speculation? You bet. Have we been spot on with the whack job conspiracy theories? Yes, we have. Yes, we have. And the beautiful thing about here in the United States, God bless it, is that we can still put up a legitimate fight in a U.S. court of law. As bad as it's gotten in this country, and let me tell you, it's about to get a whole hell of a lot worse because they've unleashed something in this country. So you better put your big boy pants on. You better stop complaining to David Schwartz that you're not rich yet. Are you kidding me? Complaining about Chris Larson driving a Porsche? Are you kidding me? You have no chance during the greatest financial tsunami that's about to hit this whole world. And you're going to complain that Chris Larson's driving a Porsche? We're talking about banks and institutions already 400 plus deep. Confirmed. RippleNet. Now we're moving everything to Ripple Payments to make it simplified because everyone wants to get confused on the facts. And even Ripple recognizes that we have to simplify the marketing. They've done a tremendous job with their marketing. And the move to go to just simply Ripple Payments, genius. Genius. This is not a game, folks. There's trillions of dollars on the line, as I've said with the whole SEC versus Ripple lawsuit, over $1 trillion plus of damages. If you just do a simple market cap calculation, bro, if we would have been actually able to participate in the last bull run, where we would have gone, you might have $1 trillion of market cap right there. Folks, this situation's on fire right now. This is beautiful to see, right? And I was saying this to my Discord group this morning. I had my weekly call with my Discord group this Sunday, little Sunday session. And I said, the frustrating part is that we've been spot on. We've been right, but it hasn't been reflected in price action in the suppressed assets that we think are going to be running the new financial system, i.e. gold, silver, XRP, and other digital assets still suppressed. And legitimate companies that are trying to change the world like Ripple getting sued by the SEC. And the United States being held back because our government, the SEC three-letter agency that it's an absolute joke, wants to play stupid. And we got good guy Gary Gensler, and we just got intel. I haven't been able to confirm this. This is just a rumor that someone put out on Twitter, that Gary Gensler wants to approve a spot Bitcoin ETF to save his reputation. This is his Vietnam moment, is how he's describing it. It's going to be a loss. And he just received a fat L from Judge Torres, and the longer that they let this case go on, not only do they lose, but the facts and circumstances expose the corruption at the highest levels. And we know that good guy Gary, we know what, campaign he was the CFO of. Uh-oh. Got to stop there. Can't talk about that further. We've had the facts on our side. We are being proven right and vindicated on a daily basis. It's fantastic. The frustrating part, and I'm right there with you, is that our silver still it's breaking out on the East in the Shanghai Futures Exchange. It's breaking out above $25 US. Here back in America, it's a little bit less, right? Suppressed assets still held back like silver, gold, XRP, and other digital assets. And we know Main Street economy is absolutely about to get killed. And it's not that I'm cheering that on. Am I absolutely thrilled and excited to take advantage of the opportunity? You betcha. But I have sympathy for the Main Street business owner, entrepreneur that's about to shut and crater their doors. And I know what that means because we have about 60% of the employment in this country is from small enterprises, small businesses. This country runs off small businesses, but it's about to be consolidated during the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. Like I always said, this isn't, we all get a participation trophy. We all get to say that we lived during this time, but it doesn't mean that the wealth is going to transfer to you, that you are going to build the wealth. And I'm here to tell you right now, as I see some of these guys, and I see it, when I'm looking on Twitter, when I'm listening to spaces and I'm checking the vibe checking the community, I get it. It's frustrating. But where I find myself focused 100% of my energy is on the opportunity. What am I building? And I said to the Discord today, we got two groups. We got builders and we got complainers. There's a clear distinction. Draw that line in the sand and you can see it very clear. We got builders and complainers. Which group are you in right now? Trust me, I ain't building anything on crypto. I'm a doofus moron when it comes to this. I make fun of myself for being so stupid when it comes to this tech, even though I do understand it at a pretty extensive level. But I'm no developer, coder, anything. I don't spend any time at my computer other than putting out content. With that being said, right, we understand that this is a fundamental shift in our system. Most folks will get left behind, and you don't have to be a genius to figure out who's going to be running this show. To connect a few dots and go, wow, okay, I see what's taking place. Nothing can stop Ripple. And they have the facts on their side. They can cut a check if they did create a few investment contracts with their early sales. It's not a big deal. What do you need? 100 million, 200 million? Let's be real. And this is what's changed the game over the past 48 hours or so, is that we have a whistleblower that, if allowed to speak and it's allowed to be revealed what all happened with the Ethereum ICO, it's going to expose the three-letter agency to its core, known as the SEC. And we already have politicians within Congress right now that are talking about reining back in the SEC. You have to understand, and folks, thanks for hanging out with me. We haven't shown any charts. I haven't shown anything else. I've just been ranting here to start off the first 13 minutes of the show. I want to say thank you for coming in for a Sunday night session. I'm about to take another sip of my Syrah out here at the Columbia Valley Syrah 2020. And they've shaken us up over the last few years. It is frustrating. We are tired. I get it. But when you understand a breakthrough like we got this weekend, I don't care about charts. 50 cent XRP, who cares? Did you need some more XRP? It's a great time if you need, 2-for-1 deal. I never thought we'd be getting a 2-for-1 deal after Clarity. Sure, I'm wrong. I was wrong. Is everything still at play though? Abso-freaking-lutely. And as far as what's at play, even the haters have to admit that we can go to double digits with ease. That's a life-changing opportunity in and of itself. That's cool. Some gains. That's sick, bro. I want to save this country, and I want an opportunity for my children. I don't know about you guys. Sure, I want my cryptos to move. They've been suppressed assets for so long. But that's the beautiful thing about these opportunities, these once-in-a-lifetime, once-in-a-generation opportunities, is that you can be wrong, right, for a long time. And you can get hurt in that prediction, trying to front run. We've been wrong. Sure, 100%. Did we ever lose conviction? No. Did we take advantage of it to double down on our positions? Yes. And only time will tell whether we were right or wrong. And I'm very clear about where I'm putting my chips. You don't have to guess where I put my chips. You don't have to guess who's paying me off, because nobody's paying me off. Once again, I get it every day in the comments. Is Ripple paying you? No. I think there's some good guys and good gals at that company that set out to put a dent in the universe, that wanted to make XRP a world reserve digital currency. But they were attacked by our government. They were stalled and held up because what they were doing with, like I said, putting a dent in the universe, it shakes up the system to the core, and it's a better solution than anything that the incumbents had to offer. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, Vanguard, the whole gang, the whole system. It's the fundamental basis of a new system. So they had to stall up. They had to say, wait a moment. In comes the red folder. What are the damages? Are they $1 trillion? Are they $1 trillion plus? Let's just figure out the truth. That's all I've ever said. Do you think that it's enjoyable to me to get lawyers involved? No. I respect lawyers, though. And I respect the U.S. rule of law. Big time. In fact, I would fight for everything to protect this rule of law here in the United States. Do you think I care one bit about a $50K buyback? No. We get to protect ourselves. We get to make a claim. We get to have free speech in the United States of America. And that's what I'm exercising. It's only that. I'm not here to give you financial advice. Do you want to know what I'm doing? I tell you. I have nothing to hide. I went all in on XRP. I went all in on my businesses. I'm ready to move on real estate. I got a little bit of silver. I will do everything it takes to take care of my family. Nothing to hide. But yet, the amount of crap that we've taken, called whack job conspiracy theorists. And my simple response, how's your program working out? How's it worked out for you not putting up a fight in these states that have gone just crazy? Look at the United States of America, the divide between states that have their act together, making gold and silver legal tender, actually enforcing laws on the books, having law and order, creating a marketplace for entrepreneurs and capitalists to come invest and build. Compare that with, I got to be careful with my words, how I describe these sanctuary city states that have lost their minds, or are they just part of one bigger agenda to destroy America from within? To destroy the middle class American dream, white picket fence opportunity that we once had here in America. Because I'll tell you right now, most folks can't afford the white picket fence with 7.5, nearly 8% on the mortgage rates for your median price home coming in well over $400,000. You're talking well over a $3,000 a month payment. They've killed the American dream. They have ran a Ponzi scheme that they allowed themselves to open up Pandora's box and take it to a whole nother level during the simulations of 2020. And that started with Trump. And Trump knew what he was up against. Trump plays a pivotal role in this. As I've always said, don't care what you think about him. Don't care if he offends you. Don't care if you like his hair. Doesn't matter. The timeline's been written. This man, he caught a lot of stuff, a lot of corruption, a lot of evidence was collected. And this is why the whole battle in the courts, as unfortunate as it is, it had to be this way. It had to be this way. The enemy is evil. They're not just stupid. They're not dumb. They know what they're doing. They know what's at stake. And they know what they've done to maintain the order that we've had. Now, like I said, they're not stupid. They have their agenda. They're very out in the open with it. Elon Muff says, a little two-spot super chat. Appreciate that. Vivek is a Soros Democrat plant swamp creature. There's a segment of this population that is using an incredible amount of discernment. They've banked on us not using any discernment, just watching the television tell us what to think, what to believe, and what should go, what should be acceptable, right? What program we should have for our children. They have all the suggestions, right? And they don't want us even thinking for ourselves. And they've set up our education system to dumb down the American people. They didn't teach us anything about money. And what they do allow us to invest in is their Ponzi scheme. The best opportunities not made available to most folks. The regulations only set to get more stricter with good guy Gary Gensler, if he gets his wishes, taking accreditation standards from $1 million net worth to $10 million net worth. Apparently, if you aren't worth 10 milli, if you don't got 10 M's in the bank account, like the kids say, you're not worthy of being able to invest for yourself. You need a financial advisor. You need someone to hold your hand. How's their program worked out? 60-40 portfolio having its third worst year in history last year. That's how their program's working out. Folks, I was so excited to get settled in here tonight because don't care about price action right now. That's going to come. What we got this weekend was a freaking bomb dropping on the narratives, on the lies, on the misinformation and the disinformation that got me started 2.5 years ago when I started making content. And I knew that my research had paid off. For over a decade, I've been studying the Federal Reserve, private banking cartel, who actually runs this country. I see my man Slam Adams dropping that 20 spot. Appreciate you, brother. So good to see you. Don't forget to smile and enjoy what we have outside this nonsense. But we're definitely going to make it, brother. Couldn't agree more. So good to see you too in the Discord group, brother. Absolute pleasure. I dropped 2 updates for the Discord group this morning, an exclusive community update, and then we also did the weekly call. A lot more content coming that way, by the way. Slam, appreciate you, brother. We do have to remember to smile. And for me, I'm right there with you. Every single day, I'm taking that moment to slow down because I know most folks would consider me a psychopath. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we've literally been called crazy. And it's not just for our beliefs, but it's for the sense of urgency that we show up with every single day. And I do show up with a smile on my face because it's incredible what we have here. It's incredible the calling that we found, the purpose that I've found within this media platform. Like I said, the misinformation and disinformation about XRP that got me started 2.5 years ago on TikTok, now coming full circle to see it all unfold in real time, and the bombshell that we got this weekend. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Let's get right in. I want to show you guys a few tweets. Let's go through a few stuff. I had to get that rant out tonight, though. I haven't had much opportunity to go live here as of late, so it feels so good to pull up here in the chair. Felt so good to go live with the Discord community where I can go fully uncensored and unfiltered and just let it fly over there. And I find myself getting excited during a live session on a Sunday where I want to have a good time, but golly, are we winning this battle? It's not over. It's not over. We've won some battles this weekend, folks, and I'm going to show you guys some tweets to reflect that. Also, we're going to show you guys the real data. We got the week coming up ahead that's going to be absolutely massive with Fed Chair Jerome Powell and others. So I'm sipping some wine tonight, feeling good. You guys let me know how you guys are feeling in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please smash that thumbs up for me. And like I always say, everything can be at my website, zachrector.com, if you're interested in any of our programs. And I appreciate all the support. It really means the world for me, guys. Thank you so much. Let's get right on into an update, though. Yeah, Slam Adams says, I can't even talk to people anymore because they think I'm crazy when I talk facts. We can do our best to help others. And like I always said, we're still reaching out and trying to pull folks aboard the train. The train has left the station. We're still trying to get people aboard. We are. But if you're not willing, okay, you have one chance. We're rolling right now. You have one chance to grab on and we can pull you up. If you're not interested, good luck. God bless. Good luck. God bless. Linda Bohm, thank you for the 10 spot. Appreciate you. Congratulations. Yes, Linda, thank you. Thank you. I can't speak on that publicly, Linda, but I appreciate you. It's an absolute blessing. Words do not describe how blessed we are feeling right now. Linda, I appreciate you. Thank you. I can't speak on that, but appreciate you so much. Means the world to me, guys, all the support. Massive week coming up. Let's get right on into the update, guys. This is a Sunday night session, 8:30 on the West Coast. Let's run it up. Digital asset investor, as always. the OG, the best, the GOAT, as the kids say, the greatest of all time, to do it, putting together and exposing this deal. 900,000 views. We might break 1 million by Monday. How about that? And we're talking about uncovering this Ethereum corruption, the free pass, the original tweet here from Steven Narioff, insider at Ethereum, creator of the utility token. What a novel concept, the ICO, and the security token as well. And we're going to figure out if the SEC ever wants to give us an official opinion on Ethereum, whether it's a security token or not. But 900,000 views. That's what we're talking about, folks. And we also have Steven Narioff sharing this. He talks about Joseph Grunfest having integrity, which seems to be out of fashion. And at the very bottom, I'm just going to skip through this, guys. I got another update that's going to be dropping tomorrow morning, and you guys will see this full breakdown on why I think that the SEC has to settle with Ripple. But right here at the bottom, he says treasonous. That's how he describes the actions. When I said dangerous area, I didn't suspect so-called friendly fire, traitors, and treasonous. And this is the thing, is that there's a lot of people that, understand the opportunity here in America. And at the end of the day, right, you want to see an opportunity for your children. So you're going to be forced to step up and blow the whistle on this. And the main reason why they do this is because they don't want to go serve time behind bars. And you think that we've seen something? We haven't seen nothing yet, folks. When this gets completely uncovered, when we get the Netflix documentaries that the masses are allowed to watch, a couple years down the road, they'll be given and served up a little documentary, and they'll get to hear about this little company Ripple and this little, startup, company out of San Francisco and the Ethereum free pass and the corruption behind it. The masses will be allowed to watch a Netflix documentary after 2025 and the whole system's been reset, right? That's how this works out. But in the meantime, we're uncovering absolute bombshells in real time. And I'm here to tell you here tonight, I got a response from Steven, because just like John Deaton and the whole XRP community, we're all on these guys, right? We're retweeting every single time they're posting, retweeting, sharing it, uncovering the connections, looking deeper, connecting all the dots. I got a message back from Steven, because just like John Deaton, I thought, hey, let's try to get this guy on the show. And with all due respect, I would love to see him on John Deaton's show first before he comes to my little show. But I would love to have Steven on, and I'd love to have him share his side of the story. And I did get a response back, and he said that he would love to, but it looks like, basically he's already lined up some exclusive, and they are operating within kind of what he's being advised by his lawyers on. And that was the beautiful thing, is that we got a tweet here from the lawyers here today as well, from his lawyer talking about how his client right here, Michael Scotto. Okay, we might, and I haven't followed this guy yet. I better follow him just to make sure this is good. Michael Scotto is the lawyer. He says, my client, Steven Narioff, fought and won the battle of a lifetime. Steve has been advised to follow proper procedures and is fully committed to making all of his facts known at a time and manner that serves the interest of justice and the people. Hashtag stay tuned. Oh, we've been tuned. Oh, we've been here. And we got some good popcorn. We got some good wine. We're going to have a good time. And amen. God bless you. Come join the fight. You know what I'm talking about, folks? This is what we've been doing. This is what's made this journey so fun. And God willing, we will uncover all this truth. And if we need to hold somebody accountable, whether it's good guy Gary Gensler or somebody else, we need to do it. Bill Hinman. And this guy is already naming names. I don't know if he, is going to be able to come on the show here anytime soon, but I'm hoping that we can get Steven on the show to present his side of the story. This is what I built my platform for, is to be at the groundbreaking news stories. Let's get on top of it and let's get folks the truth. That's why you guys are here. That's why I wake up every single day knowing that my purpose is so dang big. And I got to continue stepping up to the plate right now, going to bat, finding the connections, doing the research, and nailing down interviews like this. Folks, we got some big interviews coming on the way. I'm about to flip the switch on some interviews. And I've been getting a lot of requests for Andy Scheckman, our good friend, and others. And we're going to be getting back some of the regulars. Jimmy Valley. we got some big hitters coming through, folks, and we're going to get some of the regulars, and then we got some new ones coming. I'm hoping that we can get Steven as well, but I would love to see him on John Deaton's show first. And this is why we put so much respect on John Deaton's name for stepping up 75,000 plus XRP holders, but the evidence that he's interjected, the movements that we've made out here in the public. I've seen the hashtag already flying around, decentralized justice, and we need to start ramping up that hashtag along with the names of these folks and continue to apply pressure. It's not that we want a free pass for XRP. We have tremendous facts and circumstances on our side, as it's been uncovered in the lawsuit, historical ruling from Judge Torres. But we just want a level playing field. And until we get that, we're going to be forced to apply pressure. Because even if we get clarity for XRP just like we did, and even if Ripple gets to settle up the case and we get set free, that's fantastic. But there's corruption that's so bad, we're going to have to get accountability for that. Sorry, I'm speaking as an American, and I speak for many others, right? If you appreciate what we're talking about here tonight, please make sure you've smashed that thumbs up. I speak for many Americans in saying that we are absolutely fed up, and we know that you guys are coming for us, and you've attacked us at every single level, systemically through our financial system. This thing is falling apart, and most folks, like I said, have only been fed Wall Street Ponzi scheme offerings for their 401k retirements, for the pensions. And if they have their way, we're going to continue to take hits like we did last year. The worst year ever for bonds, the third worst year ever for the 60-40 traditional portfolio that Wall Street tries to put everybody in, 60% equities, 40% bonds. How's that program worked out? Third worst year ever, worst year ever for bonds, absolute joke. When I see folks in the community that tried to hate on us and made incredible claims against us, they've changed their tune, haven't they? Now they're talking about damages. Now they've talked about, well, maybe I should have a red folder too. You're damn right you should. Especially if you're in the United States of America and you care about this country, you should step up to the plate and get something done. All I got right now is my platform. I'm pushing. I got my community. We're doing everything that we can to get the word out. Little platform on the X platform where we can actually speak freely. What a joy. To actually be able to exercise our First Amendment rights. And this is the same sentiment that I share from Yassin Mubarak. He says, file this under the SEC will never take Ripple Brad Chris to trial folder. File that under that. We ain't ever going to trial. Ripple executives could simply call Steven to the stand and expose the skeletons in the SEC closet. How could these executives be expected to know back in 2013 to 2018 that XRP was a security when these shenanigans were going on at the SEC? Where's the fair notice? Right. Now, I put out a tweet here. Let me show you guys this, folks. Let's get started. Let's take a look here at what's going to take place this week. We have a massive week coming up, and let me show you the economic calendar, and then I want to show you this chart that we actually took a look at as well. Let me find this tweet that I made here. Yeah, this is on the 2-year treasury. This is what I wanted to show you guys right here. We saw the 2-year treasury spike up today. U.S. government bonds, 2-year treasury, all the way up to 5.5. Let me break down kind of what I think is taking place right here. So I think that we have the bond market front running what's taking place in the interest rates, right? The interest rates are about to be raised once again by the Fed Chair Jerome Powell. That's my expectation prediction. Maybe I'll be wrong. That's going to take place on Wednesday. We're going to get the Fed decision on interest rates, and we're going to get a speech from Jerome Powell. We also have 3 Fed speakers on Friday as well. Slam Adams, brother, I see you there, 100 spot. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, brother? Appreciate you. I see that. I see that. I see you. I really do appreciate that. this is my prediction. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I do expect Fed Chair Jerome Powell to raise interest rates by another 25 basis points because inflation's not going away and they're nowhere near their 2% target for core CPI. So the Fed has not won the fight against inflation, even though that we got talking heads like Paul Krugman trying to tell us that the Fed has won the fight against inflation. That's an absolute joke. If you understand the data, what you're looking at, the markets are reflecting that. When you can go get a short-term 2-year treasury bond and get nearly 5.5% on that return, why would I go buy real estate at a 5 cap? Why would I go buy real estate at a 6 cap? This jacks up the whole market, folks. And this is why we've seen actually the deposits come down, is because folks are moving to money markets, i.e. treasury bonds is what most of those money markets make up. And then you're seeing them move to, treasury bonds as well, right? Even though we just had the worst year ever for treasuries, you're seeing folks move to them because if you buy a treasury today, you're talking about a 5.5% risk-free is what they tell us on your U.S. Treasury bond. And I think that the bond market right now might be front-running that Jerome Powell is going to raise rates once again. And when you got the Fed funds rate at effectively 5.5% is where it's going to be at, then you bet. This is what we see. And the bond markets are really exposing a lot of this. Now, the bond markets are not sexy to talk about, right? They're not like crypto, but they reflect what is actually going to happen, right? Most folks say that the bond market, the traders in the bond market are usually the best sentiment and the best predictors of what's actually going to take place. We have the 2-year going nuts to start the week. To tell you where we're at with the markets, we got the 2-year going nuts. Now, we take a look here at the economic calendar here from Market Watch. And like I said, we got a big week coming up. Big week coming up. Starting off with Monday, we get the Home Builder Confidence Index. We also get the housing starts and the building permits. Big updates on the real estate market, and I've already showed my Discord group earlier today the Home Builder Confidence chart. Maybe I'll pull it up here in a second. It's done a bull trap rally this year because supply has been so low. I'll go show you guys the chart after this. But we got a bull trap rally, a return to normal moment taking place in real estate with the builders. And that is because supply has been at record lows. Inventory, record lows. The amount of people that want to give up their house, and what we're really talking about, the amount of people that want to give up a 3 and 4% mortgage is not many people. Who wants to go replace a 3 and 4% mortgage or lower with a 7 or 8% mortgage? Not many people. And so the builder confidence is going to be a leading indicator for where this real estate market is headed. I was showing my Discord group this morning that when you look back at 2005, right, when it was starting to peak off, that's when it started to fall off, and it had a little bull trap rally, same kind of thing taking place, where the home builder confidence actually went up during 2006, 2007, right before it went back to go set the lows. Now, home builder confidence has been at new record highs after 2020 because we lived through the pandemic simulation events. And we were talking about interest rates got cut to 0 for commercial debt, and nobody had to pay their student loans. Pandora's box got opened up, PPP loans. Nobody has to pay, nobody has to work. Here's free money. Have a good time. And the supply demand dynamics got completely out of whack in these pandemic boom cities where folks were migrating because they could work from home. Now you're seeing cities like Boise have huge contractions compared to where they're at. Compared to where I live, I look at Boise and I'm like, man, Boise's still on sale. Are you kidding me? There's still some good deals compared to where I live, because I'm in a jacked up market. But these boom cities are having some pullbacks, right? But the builders went nuts in those towns because they were trying to anticipate all the new demand that was coming. When you have California flooding your town with cash to spend, the builders were going nuts. And that's why the home builder confidence went to new all-time highs. So we're going to get housing starts, building permits, a lot of data on real estate this week. That's going to be fantastic. But then on September 20th, Wednesday, we have the Fed interest rate decision, which is going to be coming in, and then Fed Chair Jerome Powell. My prediction is 25 basis points increase. He's going to raise rates one more time. One more time. Then on Thursday, we get initial jobless claims, the manufacturing survey from the Philadelphia Fed, the U.S. current account deficit, U.S. leading economic indicators, existing home sales. That'll be an interesting one. Another real estate data point. And then we got 3 Fed speakers on Friday. Massive week coming up, folks. Hey, feel free to drop some comments, questions down below. Let me take your questions here as we've been live for about 40 minutes. We're going to keep it rolling all night here. Sunday night live. So much to talk about. So much to uncover. Apologies that this is going to run long, but I got to rant. I got to cover some of this stuff. We got to look at the data. We got to break it down. We got to answer some of your questions. And we got to sip on some Syrah made here in the Columbia Valley. Good stuff. 2020. It was bottled up during the simulation events of 2020. We're riding through this thing together, guys. I want to give another shout out, though, to Slam Adams. Slam, that was such a massive, what did you drop? 20 spot, then a hundo? Dropping it and making it rain tonight here. Slam Adams, I appreciate you so much, brother. And I see you asked another question right here. Why didn't everyone in the world invest in Bitcoin when it was 50 cents? All of a sudden, a bunch of people were millionaires because they understood. And that's the point, is that nobody thought that Bitcoin was going to hit 60,000. Most people didn't think that Bitcoin was going to hit 1,000, let alone $100, right? And when you look at the utility that Bitcoin provides, i.e. nothing, a store of value, which is simply a narrative. See, store of value is not a utility that can be proven by any technical function. Store of value it can only be reflected in price, which sure, the returns have been good if you invested in the early days. Sure, there's been plenty of money made off of Bitcoin, absolutely. But where should I park my money in 2023 is the question that people are asking. And for me, I have no interest in Bitcoin. Not here to tell you whether you should be in love with Bitcoin or not, whether you should sit around the Bitcoin bro bonfire and smoke a little of their Bitcoin hopium. Go have a fun time. I don't think from the levels that we're at today, we have any store of value, that we have any opportunity from today's price point. And just like my mentor, Dan Pena, said, if you knew who created Bitcoin, you would run as fast as you could to sell it. Well, I think we know who created Bitcoin. And it wasn't some mythical creature in his pajamas in his basement named Satoshi Nakamoto. I think we're all pretty dang clear about that right about now, after all the information and evidence that we've already uncovered. I think we understand that. What 3-letter agency was it? How many 3-letter agencies were involved? Was it our government? Was it somebody else's government? If you knew who created it, you would run as fast as you could to sell it. We know who created XRP. That's part of why I run as fast as I can to load up. We know what's going to take place with supply. We know the ledger isn't going to be changed unless we have a proven, tested amendment that is going to be necessary for the XRP ledger. We run things through a stringent test, and an 80% consensus must be reached to change this ledger. Meanwhile, you have a 50% proof of work program that doesn't work so well. Meanwhile, you have an Ethereum option that's created the whole crypto space as we know it, essentially, with the ERC20 token factory created on top of it. Moving to proof of stake, after we know that Ethereum was not decentralized, 6 large mining pools were doing over 50% of the mining. Over 60% of the mining, actually, I believe, was done by 4 large mining pools for Ethereum. And it was 6 large mining pools for Ethereum, and it was 4 large mining pools for Bitcoin. And then China banned Bitcoin mining and Ethereum mining. they banned proof of work. Just like we always talked about. Right? And as much as, I think that Bitcoin's kind of a joke, I don't care to see these guys lose. I hope it works out for you. I hope it does something. I hope at least as a store of value. I believe that's the best chance that the Bitcoin bros got, is that you have a store of value. It will maybe outpace inflation, or at least maintain with inflation. It's outpaced inflation by a lot. It's had tremendous returns over the last decade. Can't hate on that, right? But folks want to know, what do I do with my money now? And I want to provide perspective on where we're at. We're not at 2012, 2013 investing in Bitcoin sub, $100. Now, is XRP the best opportunity? I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not going to tell you where to put your money. And I'm not going to give you any sort of financial advice. I'm simply just sharing my opinions on this market, how I analyze it, and how I am investing. Slam, I see you. Are you kidding me? Brother. Another hundo? Slam. For the Zach Rector Discord family I've had the privilege of getting to know, let's invest wisely and make a new life for the future of our family and generations. How about a cheers for that, folks? For the Zach Rector Discord family I've had the privilege of getting to know, let's invest wisely and make a new life for the future of our family and generations. Amen. God bless you. I appreciate the support so much, brother. You're a real one. You're a real one. And this is the deal. We are looking at past XRP gains, bro. We're looking at past XRP to $5-10. If it does go further, do we have a plan? How are we going to move when we look to buy up more businesses, when we look to buy up some real estate? How much of our portfolio should we put into precious metals? Should we look at treasury bonds? You got a 2-year promise from the U.S. government, flip a coin and decide whether or not we're going to have a reset, destruction of the system as we know it, and a restructuring of the debt as we see on the balance sheets is getting a little too much. You flip a coin toss on whether or not you're going to get paid back 2 years later from the U.S. government, the Treasury, at your 5.5% risk-free return. And this is getting everything out of whack completely, folks, in a major way. I see Tony just dropped a 20 spot. What is the status of Judge Torres' decision for SEC request for interlocutory appeal? We have not received it yet. It should be coming here soon. Here very soon. We should get the response from Judge Torres. I don't know. I can't put a timeline on it. I don't know what's normal. I don't know what the average is. I just know it shouldn't take months. It should not take months, right? Potentially this month, maybe next month. That was part of what I was hoping and praying for this month, so that I could get that September settlement and take 100 XRP from Daniel, the casino coin head guy Daniel. I wanted to take 100 XRP from Daniel and get that September settlement. But part of that was I was hoping that Judge Torres would deny the interlocutory appeal. The bombshell that we got this weekend does play into my cards, right? That gives a little bit more ammunition. I mean, that's why I'm putting out the titles that I think that settlement's guaranteed, guys. I'm not afraid to say that. If I'm proven wrong and the case ends up in the Supreme Court 3-4 years from now, then okay, then Ripple's going to fight it the whole way. I know that they're not scared to do that. I know that they can afford to do that. It won't be any problem to take it all the way to the Supreme Court. And thank God we've had some Supreme Court actually holding up the law, holding up the Constitution as of late. So if it goes all the way to Supreme Court, it should be good. But this month, I was hoping that we got that response on the interlocutory appeal. Judge Torres hopefully denying that appeal and adding more of a backing to her rulings that programmatic sales and the sales by individuals were not securities. There's a reason why she said that the programmatic sales and the sales by the individuals, Brad and Chris, were not securities, compared to saying, Judge Torres giving us that summary judgment that yes, in fact, some of these contracts or some of these early sales to institutions were investment contracts. There's a reason why she did that. Now, my hope and my prayer is that she's going to deny that appeal and that maybe we'll get that settlement this month. And that's why we're about to have the proper party. The timing is good. It's fantastic, as a matter of fact. We just finished up a Jubilee year. We're heading into a whole new cycle. A whole new cycle. Do you guys realize how much different our world is going to look between now and 2030? Can you even imagine the chaos that they're about to put us through over the next couple years? To set this thing, it's already in motion, but to accelerate it? Can you imagine how much different things are going to look between now and 2030? Can you imagine the prices of these suppressed assets? Folks, this is an incredible opportunity for me. We need to continue doubling down. And I mentioned it in the video that I recorded here. That's going to be dropping tomorrow morning. I got the Ministry of Finance from Palau on my show, Jay Anson. What a pleasure. What a privilege to get to speak to someone from the government of Palau who's working on building a US dollar-backed stablecoin on the XRP ledger. I got Representative Bill Huizenga following me on Twitter. We have US politicians following this little show. We are 100% over the target. We have been vindicated on nearly everything. It's only a matter of time before all facts and the evidence get brought forward in a U.S. court of law, and we get to expose what they did. And hopefully we can save our country, and the gains that we will see once we're set free. The question then becomes, what do we do next? Bankruptcy filings are at record levels from anecdote stories from folks in the industry. There's a viral TikTok circulating right now. I shared it with my Discord group this morning. Bankruptcy levels are at the most that this guy's seen in 20 years, is what he said. It was a little viral TikTok of a bankruptcy lawyer. And he was saying that this is the busiest week that I've had in my 20 plus year career for bankruptcy filings. The beautiful thing is there's two sides of every coin, right? And we look at the other side of this coin, and it's an opportunity that presents itself for our community to take over the job that you have right now. Ask yourself if your boss has an exit strategy for his or her business. Do they have an exit strategy? Is their business going to survive? Might be a good question to ask and know, considering that we're going into a historical recession at best. A complete reset also on the table. Do they have an exit strategy, and can you be the solution for them? Is it time to start your side hustle? How can we scale up your existing business? Are you going to invest in real estate? Are you going to invest in your local market? Or maybe your local market's jacked up like mine, and so you're looking nationwide for building an investment portfolio in the real estate asset class. What relationships are you building and nurturing during this bear market recession when everybody's going to be looking for work? Everybody's going to be looking for opportunity. This time is ours, folks. Slam, I see you. 5-spot. For some reason, I can't subscribe to the YouTube channel, though. I only get the option for super chat and stickers. That's so weird, Slam. That's weird. If you guys let me know. We got a lot of people that watch the show that aren't subscribed. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates, including when we go live at 8 p.m. on the West Coast, Sunday night session. And we're approaching the 9 o'clock midnight. We're going to be starting the new, and the charts are already moving. As I showed you guys here, the charts are already moving, folks. Slam, I appreciate all the support tonight. That's been absolutely massive. Thank you so much. This is the tweet that I was talking about here. I can't confirm it. SEC Insider says Chief Gary Gensler has told friends and advisors that he would like to gracefully extricate himself from his personal Vietnam by approving one or more spot Bitcoin ETFs from the major fund companies where he hopes to get a job after leaving the agency. So good guy Gary Gensler knows that this is his personal Vietnam or failure in this regard, what he's, the context here and how he's considering this, right? He wants to wrap this up and come out as the good guy, as we've always said, by giving a spot Bitcoin ETF to one or more of these Wall Street boys and girls that are looking to move in. Now, Coinbase put out this post. This is a list of all the asset managers that have applied for a spot Bitcoin ETF. BlackRock, 10 trillion. Fidelity, 4.5 trillion. Invesco Galaxy, 1.5 trillion. Franklin Templeton, 1.5 trillion. Remember, Franklin Templeton, they already did bonds on Stellar. I did that in one of my Stellar deep dives, I remember. But Franklin Templeton actually already tokenized bonds on the Stellar network. I forget what they did. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that. I dropped that in my Stellar deep dive. Wisdom Tree, 87 billion. Van X, 61 billion. Global X, 40 billion. ARK Invest, 14 billion. Valkyrie, a billy. Bitwise, a billy. It's funny, the small funds that want to file a Bitcoin ETF are at a billion. 14 billion, 40, 61, 87, 1.5 trillion, 1.5 trillion, 4.5 trillion, 10 trillion, equaling and totaling 17.7 trillion of assets under management. These funds are looking to file for a spot Bitcoin ETF. Does that mean that their full 17 trillion goes to Bitcoin spot ETFs? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Bitcoin's a joke, as we've been talking about. And the XRP ETF fund is coming up. You bet. You absolutely bet. But there's going to be trillions coming. There's going to be tens of trillions coming. And there's going to be tens of trillions settling on DLT technology. Folks, I just want to keep on reminding our community, right, that, yeah, we got to show up and have a smile on our face. Not only do we have our truth on our side on the legal battlefield, but we have trillions that's coming into the space guaranteed. Absolutely guaranteed. Tens of trillions, hundreds of trillions that's going to be settled up on this DLT technology. Without a doubt. What's interesting right now is we're watching supply chain still being used as an excuse here for situations here, we're seeing across the economy, still being used as an excuse. But now it might get real as American workers are now striking at some of the highest levels on record. Folks, this is the problem though. Yes, you can go out and strike. You can unionize. You can go do that deal. But the problem is that through automation and through this recession, they're about to lay off so many people. And we're already seeing reports back from, the UPS drivers that were going viral. They were going to make 170 grand a year, yada, 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 with pension and all this stuff, right? It's already been shown in some cities. I think Austin was one of them, or maybe it was Dallas. It was one of the cities in Texas where the demand's fallen off for UPS drivers. So yeah, those that are being, that are working are going to get paid better, but there's going to be less of them working because demand is falling off a cliff, i.e. we are in a recession, despite what the talking head economic pundits want to tell us. Now, this is the next thing that we got to add to the timeline. House Republicans prepare to turn U.S. government shutdown into immigration clash. House Republicans are preparing to turn an impending government shutdown into a clash with Democrats over border enforcement as New York and Chicago struggle with a migrant influx. I've been showing some videos. It's getting a little crazy out there. It's a humanitarian crisis. I want to see this get solved. And there's some interesting folks that are making their way in. We got to solve this problem. And it appears to me that those that have been in charge of, solving this problem, controlling these issues, have left us wide open on purpose, are allowing us to be invaded on purpose. This is not looking good. Now, as far as how it will impact real estate, well, it might continue to, eat up all the new demand that we are getting, right? In some places, there is actually a shortage of housing. And if they continue to just let them come on in, well, maybe we won't have we will continue to have a supply shortage of housing units. I see new units going up everywhere in my area, right? But what we see right now, unfortunately, is that mortgage rates just hit a 20-year high of 7.5% and are well above the 2008 peak of 6.6%. However, the effective rate on all mortgages outstanding is 3.5%, less than half of current rates. Why sell your house if your mortgage rate will double? Exactly like I was saying earlier in this stream. Who's going to give up a 3 and 4% mortgage rate for 7 and 8%? This is the question that 90% of homeowners are now facing. Supply is unlikely to return to the market anytime soon. This is where it gets actually exciting for me. The secret sauce of our operations and kind of how we do business is seller finance. When you can go to a business owner, when you can go to an owner of property, and you can make them be the bank. This is an opportunity that gets more exciting as folks are able to get even better returns on their money. Now, of course, you got to find cash flow. Whether you're buying a business, whether you're buying real estate, cash flow has to cover debt service. End of story. And during these times, you might want to run with contracted assumptions on what your cash flow revenues are going to be. You know, this ain't participation trophy economy anymore. The Airbnb model's going bust in a lot of cities. You're seeing cities like Scottsdale that have been flooded with Airbnbs. And I always have to, clarify this, just to be clear. U.S. real estate is one of the best asset classes to put your money in. I'm getting ready to put a bunch of money into U.S. real estate. You bet. You bet we're going to store a bunch of wealth in U.S. real estate. They're not making any more of it. The problem is that when you go to make a deal cash flow, when your debt service cost has doubled, you don't get the same valuations. And a lot of folks that have been hanging on are trying to get valuations still at 3 and 4% interest rates. The prices have doubled for cost, the debt service cost. We can't do the same deal. We can't do the same price. We shouldn't be at 200 plus P&E ratios for NVIDIA. It's not going to last. What I'm looking at right now is a real estate market that is lagging. And we're going to get more data this week. And I think it's going to confirm a lot of our suspicions. A lot of our thesis will be confirmed this week in the home builder index. Okay. The home builder index can still be high. It can still be afloat because we do have a supply shock, right? We are short in some markets, but I think that we're about to see it fall off here once again. And it's a bull trap rally, just like we saw in 2006, 2007, when we were about to get the Lehman Brothers collapse, which we just had the anniversary of. The largest bankruptcy filing in the history of America, Lehman Brothers. We just had the anniversary of it just last week. And I asked the question to our community, will we get a bigger bankruptcy filing than we did with the Lehman Brothers collapse? Right? I think that we will. We could see a $1 trillion bankruptcy filing. Very well. It is coming back to reality for every single asset class. And for some assets, for some currencies, for some commodities, that means going up in US dollar terms by a lot. And you know what I'm talking about. Every asset class comes back to reality. And for anybody who understands these assets and how they've traded for hundreds and thousands of years, you understand what's about to take place. When we look at the DLT technology, you got deflationary assets like XRP, tremendous amount of utility that can solve $1 trillion problems. Even if you do doofus moron maths and get confused about the maths and run with simple assumptions on your maths, we move to a life-changing opportunity. That's guaranteed. But the problem, like I said, is the debt service cost has gone crazy. And we just hit a record $506 billion in July. Right now, folks, this is on personal debt alone. This is a record $500 billion that the American people just spent on personal interest. You understand that? I can't even wrap my mind around that. That is insane. The American people just spent $500 billion, that's trilly with a T, on our interest, on personal debt. That's not including the $1.5 trillion plus we might do $2 trillion on the interest payments for the United States government this year. So our government's going to spend about, let's just round up to $2 trillion for simple maths. We're going to spend $2 trillion on interest on our debt this year. American people are going to spend $500 billion, $500 billion on their personal debt. And you want to tell me that we're going to have a soft landing as we see inflation tick back up. And this is the corner that the Fed has been backed into, is that if they want to seriously fight inflation, they have to continue raising rates. And it just makes the cost of that debt go more and more. We're going to spend $1 trillion on our personal interest. The United States government's going to spend $3 to $5 trillion per year if we continue at this pace. That's why I'm not interested in the bonds. Even though the 2-year treasury spiked up to 5.5% tonight, that's why I'm not interested in the bonds. I don't want to do a deal with the U.S. government right now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me get to some of your guys' questions. I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in here tonight. Appreciate you guys so much. Hey, Zach, we need ODL. I'm a builder selling homes. Can I force the transaction to be executed in XRP and force ODL? Anthony, that's a great question. We will be able to use XRP going forward. It's just a matter of adoption. And this is something that I want to push forward more myself. If I go to the farmer's market, right, most folks don't want silver. They really don't. You're going to get some folks that might be willing to take some silver, and that'd be cool to pay them in some silver. But my move that I think that the XRP community needs going forward is just to get folks to download the Zum wallet, and then get folks to download maybe Uphold. Even Coinbase has it, and most folks are going to download Coinbase anyways. It's the most popular exchange here in the United States. But just simply get folks to download the Zum wallet, get them to download an exchange so that they can load up their wallet, and let's start using XRP as a currency like it was intended to be used for. And let's do a real estate deal with XRP. Absolutely. It's just going to be a matter of what are people going to be willing to accept going forward. Whether they introduce US CBDC, whether we get a reset US Treasury note, who knows what we're going to get, right? We have opened up Pandora's box. We are about to see something that we haven't seen in 50 plus years. Some would say once in a century reset that's about to occur. Market correction that's about to occur. A debt, currency, and liquidity crisis that's going to bring max pain to folks who aren't prepared. That's what we're up against. So we need to get more adoption, though, because, Anthony, that's a great point, great question. As far as getting folks to accept this currency, we need to be that change. And I would commend the Bitcoin community on doing so. Every time you talk to a Bitcoiner, they're talking about how they're trying to pay someone in Bitcoin, whether they're making up a story or whatnot. But, they're talking about pushing adoption aggressively, right? I think that we it's going to happen naturally. But we also can push. We can be a part of this change. Nobody wants to spend their XRP. Sound mode. That's why I shared some of the tweets. Maybe I'll go find these tweets, because these were fire tweets from David Schwartz that I had shared here on my Twitter profile here today. Let me see if I can go find these, where he's talking about essentially holding XRP is going to add value to XRP. Despite what all these people say about us treating XRP like a reserve currency, David Schwartz himself has said that adding that just simply holding XRP will add value. This is one of the tweets. David Schwartz responds to tokenize real property ownership. So to answer your question, I just shared out this tweet here today. Francis Bovine Swift had asked the question here. Curious if there are any mechanisms to tokenize real property ownership, facilitate ownership transfer of said assets, and can it be used for everything from motorcycle sales to land or stock ownership? David responds, we built issued assets and a decentralized exchange into the XRP ledger in 2012, but the hard part is connecting the ledger to the real world when assets need to represent legal rights. That's where we need to have essentially oracles. We need to have some sort of hooks, smart contract capabilities to tie it to the legal rights, right? But this is coming. This is coming. And this is the tweet that I'm talking about. I retweeted David and I said, just wait till we find out how many banks want to simply hold XRP, that just want to put XRP on their balance sheet as a reserve currency, because they believe that tomorrow's value, the future value of XRP, might be a little bit greater than today's value. Maybe I should just hold on to it like so many of us are. And why I would admit I'm not really willing to spend that much of my XRP. Do I want to start doing it to promote adoption? Yes, I do. And I'm willing to go the extra steps to kind of help facilitate that, just basically moving, dollars from my bank account over to Uphold, buying some XRP and moving it to the exchange, or just using Uphold to move that transfer, right? But probably the Zum wallet's the best. If we can just get folks to adopt the Zum wallet from XRPL Labs, that's really the move for us in the XRP community. We get folks to adopt Zum just for using for payments, everyday transactions. That's the future. But David Schwartz, this is what he has to say about folks holding. He says, the thinking is not that XRP will get value because you need it to perform transactions. The thinking, at least mine, is that XRP's value will come from people holding and using it because transfers are cheap, fast, and censorship resistant when you need to transfer it. So essentially, when you need to transfer value, you have the capabilities. But what really adds to the value is when most of it gets held. Look at the US dollar, for example. It's hard to make the comparison because the US dollar is inflationary, but look how many folks simply hold or save US dollars, or hold or buy US treasuries. A lot of people do. That's saving US dollars, right? And when you need to transact, you use the US dollar. So that's why David Schwartz, it's so simple. And we overthink this and we complicate this and we let the fudsters, confuse us on the facts on just how dang simple this is. In 2017, Ripple stated we have a simple goal of making XRP a reserve currency. Have they ever retracted that statement? No, never. Have they retracted that statement when folks like myself and others keep on reminding folks that this is what the goal has been? And just like David Schwartz says, when you need to use it for transaction, you can source the best liquidity, i.e., the final ingredient to the secret sauce that makes up XRP. The final ingredient is the AMM. The automated market maker finds the best liquidity, the arbitrage and margin between liquidity pairs gets found, and we tighten and we squeeze that down until you can source the best liquidity settled in 3 to 5 seconds at no cost on the XRP ledger. And I get crap for treating my XRP like a reserve currency. And folks want to say that this narrative's crazy. And they want to say that banks will never use XRP. Do you understand how upside down some of these balance sheets are? Do you understand that Bank of America alone has $100 billion of unrealized losses on just their bonds? Do you want to talk about the commercial real estate that they have? Do you want to talk about the other toxic derivatives that they have exposure to? $600 billion for the banks of the United States of America total. You want to talk about over 1.5 trillion of commercial debt that has to be restructured and reset over the next year? You want to talk about banks will never be interested in XRP. What are you talking about? And that's what we do. We destroy these narratives that are FUD, that are confusion, Folks want to play around. Folks want to hate. Folks want to say that, oh, you guys are insane for having your little red folder. Folks calling me a scammer. Oh, you guys are trying to get everybody to send you your XRP. No, never was that the case. What we were trying to do is put up a legal defense against the government that attacked us. And so we had to make our claim. We had to make our claim early. We need to make our claim often. And we need to be heard. Not just here in America, but worldwide. And we do have the truth on our side. You can call us crazy whack jobs. How's your program working out? Not putting up a fight, not putting up a defense, not making these moves on a daily basis, understanding that this is not a game to play. We don't got time for clickbait narratives. What are you talking about? I'm trying to save my country and build out my businesses. You think I got time to play around? Making memes? Memes are very powerful, though. I will say that. Memes are powerful in the 21st century. Here we go. In the Twitter days, memes are very powerful. But for our community, because I know I've taken crap, I know you guys have taken crap, I know it's frustrating. You're listening to the Twitter spaces, you're seeing these folks that have been sending so much hate and negativity towards us for just asking questions, wanting all truth to be revealed. Do you want me to apologize for fighting for a future for my child, for my children, for my family, for your children? I'm fighting for your children too. I want America to have the best and strongest capital markets in the world, just like Gary Gensler wants to remind us. Meanwhile, he launches Operation Choke Point against the American people. I want that opportunity for all of us. The gains are inevitable. The success is already being shown. But we don't take it for granted. We are absolutely doubling down. We're pushing the accelerator through the floor, and nothing will stop what is coming. They are going to have to take us out to stop us from exposing the SEC corruption at the very highest levels. And this is why I firmly believe, and why I'm willing to say and put out in the titles of my most recent videos, that I believe that settlement is guaranteed, is because they know if we go to trial, if the whole world gets to tune in, just like we're about to watch Trump and his trials and his tribulations, we're about to watch it all. There's no way that they can allow this case go to trial. No way. I bet Daniel 100 XRP that this case will settle up in September, mostly as a joke and mostly because I think his little peer-to-peer bets idea is kind of cool. You can bet your friend on whatever you want, on who's going to win the Super Bowl, on who's going to, whatever you want, on if there's going to be a settlement in September or not. Let's have a little fun. Let's put our XRP to use. Let's start to get a little bit of utility. And this is what I'm talking about. You know, I'm not really willing to spend 90+% of my XRP as a reserve asset on my balance sheet, but I am willing to move some US dollars over to XRP so I can go bet Daniel and have a little fun, get a little adoption. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm so excited for our community, is that we will persevere. We are focused and locked in. We are part of the builders, not the complainers, who are confused on the facts and confused on their purpose in life. Is it tough out there? Yes. Is this a recession? Yes. Nobody else wants to admit it. Is that clickbait to say that we're in a recession? No. Do I still do it? Yes. Do I still show the economic data that tells us that we have blood in the streets already here and coming further? Yes. Because I want the good people to win. The folks that were willing to stand up for the truth. The folks that were willing to do what was right, even though we were mocked, ridiculed, and hated, and we were deplatformed for speaking out against this. I want those folks to win. I want the good American people to take their country back. I want humanity to strike down this evil that wants to control us through their entities, through their agenda, and through the program that they have for us. And they're very vocal about it now, aren't they? Right out in the open with what they want for you, for me, for our children. They have a plan and a program, don't they? And we will do everything in our power to resist it. All we want is a level playing field. All we want is freedom, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I don't need anything from the government. And you already, I don't even have to say it. You already know. I didn't take any money from the government. PPP, all that. We didn't take any of it. None. Please get out of my way and just let me go build. That is the American spirit. And God bless this country for still having somewhat of a rule of law. And when we get to present our facts and evidence, oh boy, oh boy. You got your popcorn, folks? You got a little something, something? Little adult beverage? Take a little sniffy sniff? Enjoy the moment? I'll drink any wine. I'm not a wine snob at all. I just try to buy the oldest stuff that I can find on the shelf, to be real with you guys. I don't spend money on anything like that. But I try to find the oldest bottle that I can get. I don't even know if that matters or not, right? But for me, I like sitting down on a Sunday session like we did here today, being able to speak my mind, being able to rant, being able to show the data points that we're working with, being able to remind folks that we got to be excited about this moment, about the fight that we've been putting up. Yes, you're not going to get excited when you go look at the charts today. You're not going to get excited when you look at what XRP has done since we had the historic ruling from Judge Torres. Such a grand moment for us. Such a huge victory. What do we see on the price action? Nothing. We did have a bust all of the exchanges moment when we went up to $1, bust all of the exchanges, and now we're back down here at 50 cents and we wicked down to 40 cents. That sucks. That hurts. Some folks want to cry about it. I'm not crying about it. If I need to buy that dip, we'll buy that dip. And I focus all of my time on what I can build within my businesses to take care of my family and what we are going to be able to do as far as moving humanity forward, spreading the wealth out through our communities, and restoring the opportunity that we once had in this country. Expanding out worldwide. Let me know in the comments down below where you guys are coming from. If you guys are outside of the United States, I want to hear from you. Outside of the US, let me know. We got big audience in Canada, Australia. We got folks over in Asia as well. We got a lot of folks out in Africa too. South Africa, stand up. We got a lot of folks out in South Africa. Middle East starting to show up. This is a worldwide movement. This is a worldwide fight. We have a battlefield here in the United States, and we're fighting like heck. You bet we are. And thank God, God willing, we'll be able to use the United States rule of law to bring about some justice. See, I'm not the only one that had a red folder. There were some others too. There were some others too that have some red folders. My mentor, Dan Pena, he said that Trump's black book, the list of his enemies, doubled in size since he became an elected official, since he became president. He's always kept a black book of people that have done him wrong. And you can go read Trump's books. He talks about it. If somebody does you wrong, you do them worse 10 times. He believes on going after folks that do you wrong, that lie, cheat, and steal from you. You go after them even harder. That's what he believes in. What do you think's in his red folder? Whether you love him, whether you hate him, whether you like the hair, whether you like the tan, doesn't matter. What's in his red folder? I gotta seal it up right there before I say too much. Here on the YouTube stream on a Sunday night live session, 9:23 on the West Coast. God bless you guys for hanging out with me on a late night session. Let me answer a few more questions. Appreciate you guys. We still got 600 strong here in the chat. God bless you all. Let's keep it rolling. What do you guys got? Let me answer some more questions. Same situation more or less globally. Absolutely. And that's why we talk about it. I appreciate all the worldwide folks coming in. We love our Canadian friends too. You guys tell me, we got the proper party. As soon as they announced the proper party, I said, guys, something's got to be happening here. Because Brad said in Vegas, when we win this case, we will have our proper party. Have they won the case? No. Has the SEC appealed? Yes. So what's in store over the next couple weeks? What do we have? Less than a couple weeks until the proper party? What do we just have this weekend? Ethereum whistleblower dropping nuclear bombs on the narratives? Confirming everything that we've been talking about? I was so excited to hop on tonight's Sunday night session. It feels so damn good. It's going to feel even better though. We're just getting started. Have we made generational wealth yet? No, we're building. We're acquiring positions while we can take advantage of 2-for-1 XRP. Sure. We have the truth and the facts and circumstances on our side. What's happening in the real world? ODL flip of the switch moment in another couple countries, couple corridors just this last week. SBI, Philippines, we already had Philippines. It was Indonesia and Vietnam. Flip that switch. Thank you very much. Every single month, major partnerships, major adoption. Brad Garlinghouse going to speak at all these events. He's about to be showing up at the Ethereum Maxi conference. Masari's conference. I forget what they call it this week. We just had an incredible Apex developer summit for the XRP Ledger. And we've had some conversations about the XRP Ledger here as of late. Additional amendments that are coming in that are going to be so massive. In my opinion, I've termed the coin here, the final ingredient for the secret sauce is the AMM. XRP is the secret sauce. The final ingredient, that final chef's kiss, is going to be your AMM. And that's what builds out the best liquidity in the world on the XRP ledger. That's just one of the amendments that they're considering right now. Along with the developers that are going to their smart contract, Zahao ledger. Their little playground is what I'm calling it. Let the developers go have their playground. Go build, please. How can I support? How can I support development on the XRP ledger? Do I need to bet Daniel that the case is going to settle up? Let's do it. Let's go have some fun. And I continue to put out to any legitimate builders on the XRP ledger, you got a free ad, you got a free spot on my show. It's not an ad slot. You got a free spot on my show. Don't have to pay for it because I want folks that are building real utility on the XRP ledger to be found. I believe in that. Happy to use my platform for that. And I got some interesting, we're going to have some interesting Twitter spaces coming up as well. If you guys haven't already, please make sure that you've followed us over on Twitter because that's where I'm providing, there's no limit. I'm probably posting too much for the algorithm, but I don't care. As many tweets as I can get out on what's taking place in real time and reacting to it and showing you guys all of the situation in real time. And the beautiful thing about the Twitter spaces is that we can go uncensored, we can go unfiltered. The only other place that I can do that to the fullest extent is where, is where the conversations on our Discord happen. If you guys are looking to take advantage of that, by the way, I'm running a special on the annual membership. So if you sign up for the Patreon membership for a 1-year membership, you can save 13% on your annual membership. So I know we've had quite a few folks trying to take advantage of that deal, and I just flipped the switch on that special as of late. So feel free to take advantage of that. Barbara XRPIC with the 5 spot. The world is ready for XRP adoption. Hold the line, XRP Army. This is the end. Just hold the line. Let's go. Barbara XRP, I agree 100%. We are so close to the finish line. And we warned about this, I didn't think that the case was going to go on this long, but I knew that we were going to be put through the ringer. I knew that this was all by design and that they were going to shake out. Look at what's happening right now. We're about to have the biggest adoption into DLT technology while most folks can't afford to invest any money in crypto. That's the cold, hard truth. That's not clickbait. That's the cold, hard truth. I can't put that as a title of a video Nobody's going to want to watch that if I say that nobody's going to have any extra money to invest during these times, which is what's taking place. Which is why last year in our 2022 recession to-do list, I said, guys, first, number one, we got to get our income up. We're not going to be able to save our way through this recession. We're not going to be able to save our way through this hyperinflation. Saving our money is not going to save us. Now, we've had so many good conversations as of late, folks. I really want to encourage you guys, if you haven't already, make sure you follow me over on Twitter. I'm going to be firing up some Twitter spaces that are going to get real interesting. That platform is incredibly powerful right now. So make sure you guys are locked in over there. If you guys are looking to build any sort of social media platform following, I highly encourage Twitter and TikTok. Twitter and TikTok is where you start right away day one, and you can go viral day one. You can go viral day one. Did I go viral day one? No. When I set my mind to making crypto content and making content about current events, economics, the whole 9 yards, when I set my mind towards that, I did go viral right away. I made some early TikToks about, with my dog. Made some early TikTok, taking the dog for a walk, just playing with the TikTok platform. When I set things in motion, and what's funny is my original account actually got banned off of Twitter, the original Twitter, for no reason. All I was posting was XRP content. Nothing crazy, nothing controversial, just XRP content. And then out of the blue, it was January 6, 2020, I believe, my account gets taken out. And I said, okay, that's okay. It's time to start putting out some content on TikTok. And what was pissing me off was on TikTok, I was seeing nothing but disinformation and misinformation on XRP. That was the other part. When I got deplatformed on Twitter, and I only had like 300, maybe I had 1,000, I don't know. I had a few hundred people follow me on Twitter. I was nobody on Twitter. I was just a member of the XRP army, just like everybody else, right? I had, some people in the XRP army were following me. It was cool. Had a little platform. I was a nobody. And Twitter took me down for no good reason. I said, okay, that's enough. I prepared for this moment. And then in February I dropped my first content on XRP. In my very first video, I talked about XRP being a world reserve currency. And I talked about comparing Ripple to the IMF or the BIS because they were going to be a lender of last resort, acting as the central bank of central banks, settling everything of value across the XRP ledger. Here we are, almost 3 years later, still in the middle of this lawsuit, suppressed assets, still suppressed, but the breakout is here. The breakout is here not just on some of these suppressed assets like the Shanghai Futures Exchange, where gold and silver are approaching all-time highs in US dollar terms out east, where it's traded more closely towards the physical demand versus over here in the West, where the COMEX price is just the paper trading price and the prices are reflected. Out east, we have price breakout. Here in the United States, here in Twitter, here in the community known as the XRP Army, we just got a bombshell piece of evidence to add to our red folder with another Ethereum insider trying to sound the alarm because he knows it was corrupt as hell. The dam is breaking. A flood of liquidity is about to pour into digital assets. A flood of truth is about to drop on the mainstream. Is it a surprise to us? No. No. The only thing that's a surprise is that it's taken this long for it to be revealed to the masses. And that's why I'm so excited, folks, because from the very beginning, not only did I want to talk about the crazy conspiracy theories, I wanted to be able to put it together, but then be able to explain to folks how I'm positioning myself accordingly, how I'm operating my businesses, how I'm making my investments, how I'm going to protect my wealth. It's one thing to understand the conspiracy. It's another thing to take advantage of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history, With that being said, folks, we've gone live here for an hour and 30 minutes. It's been a pleasure, a Sunday night session. There was an absolute joy, so much energy, excitement that needs to be brought back into this community because we are winning. We have an incredible team. We got big hitters on our side. John Deaton, the assassins that represent Ripple, Mary Jo White and the whole gang. Legal assassins on our team. And we have the biggest hitters when it comes to presenting something on the boardroom table. We got the company in Ripple that is sending the biggest hitters up to bat to sell this idea of making XRP a world reserve digital currency and also building out the best liquidity in the world. It is coming to the XRP ledger. I am so excited for our community to win on the legal battlefield and to start to see these suppressed assets start to go. I know I say it. I know you guys see it all the time, but please remember why I share this stuff. I don't have sponsors. I am an independent media company. And I want to make it clear. Huge shout out to my team behind me that supports me and represents me in the Discord family. That's my backing. I don't shill projects. I don't have sponsors. I don't do that program. If you want to join our Discord group, you can. Another way to support us is we have the links for the precious metals affiliates down below. You can go to my website, find the link for gold. We are sharing weekly specials for my good friend Andy Sheckman, Miles Franklin. 30 plus years of incredible service. He's getting absolutely hammered. And I just shared a very, very scary story the other day. Remember, I'm not here to sell you fear. I'm just here to share you stories that we're hearing from the real situations, from the folks that are really doing deals. And Andy Sheckman told us that one of his clients tried to buy $50 million worth of precious metals, and their bank tried to shut them down and stop them. It's not just crypto that they're trying to stop us from buying. They're trying to stop us from buying our precious metals as well. So take advantage of it while you can, before maybe we get that CBDC and we can no longer buy any more. I know I have, and I've been sharing the weekly specials that Andy Sheckman has. We also have an affiliate for rolling over your 401k retirement savings as well. No matter how much you're making, no matter how much of an allocation you're looking to make, no matter whether or not you want someone else to custody it or you want the metal shipped directly to you, we can help you get it done, and it's another way to support the show. I know things are getting tight. I know it is really getting tight out there, but for those of you that are looking to protect your wealth, I know that I've made an allocation, and I've just tried to help you guys find a reputable source for rolling over your 401k retirement and for getting the metal shipped directly to you. So please, it's a way to support the show. The other thing that you can do for free is absolutely smash that thumbs up for me, share this message out far and wide, and everything else can be found at my website, zachrector.com. It's been an absolute pleasure, an absolute blessing of a Sunday session here with you guys, and I will see you guys in the next update. God bless you all.